What is up, guys? Welcome to Diggity, a video game podcast, episode number 146. I'm Jeff James, as always with me, the incredible, unobtainable, luscious Brody Fultz. How are you?
Oh, just great. How about yourself?
Doing okay. Got a crazy headache, but hey, man, we're going to power through. We're going to do it. Got water here, taking multiple headache things, and we're doing it. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. Yeah. We got news for the peeps. For the peeps, can't talk. Oh my God, I have our stream open and I can hear myself talk while I'm talking. I'm gonna shut that off. That's awful.
There you go.
No, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. It's gonna get better because there's good video game news. Cheesiest statement ever.
Yeah.
Follow us on,
video game news here.
Guys, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Diggity Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diggity, Diggity, or search for Diggity Gaming. Also, tell your friends, family, loved ones, whoever you don't love, whoever you hate, about our podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, and wherever awesome podcasts are listened to. We are there. We're also now on, Podcast Addict?
Yeah, Podcast Addict.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah, we're on that one now. We missed that one somehow. Whatever.
We're everywhere else except for Pandora.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day Pandora will bless us enough to be able to be on their platform. I have no idea. Who knows? Also, become a patron over at patreon.com/Diggity Podcast. Get access to a private Discord. Depending on your tier, you might also get an incredible invention called the Stickity Diggity. It's a fucking sticker. But it's got our shit on it. So it makes it cool. Also, you get sweet access to exclusive shows. 2 shows to be exact. Little teaser. Those who are not patrons, you'll miss out on the fact of a story about our local weather service with the name of a man named Pradeep. That was a fictional character I created. As well as what's also a weird thing that we talked about, the other one too.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos Power Vest.
Yep,
So
yep.
if you want to hear those, head over to patreon.com/GD Podcast, become a patron over there for that exclusive content. With that, before we jump into the news, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a little bit of Modern Warfare and a little bit of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It's only been a couple days since the last recording, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to play anything too crazy. This weekend, though, it's on.
Yes, and I have played nothing, but Friday night, it's kind of on, and then Saturday, it's on.
Oh, it's on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm ready. Let's go.
I said it's on, and then I realized it's Valentine's Day, and people were like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, luckily, my wife and I we don't really do Valentine's Day. Never really have.
Janelle and I aren't really celebrating Valentine's Day this year that much either. We didn't get each other anything because we got a friggin' house. So we're like, you know what? Just
that counts.
Whatever.
Yeah. Usually I'll go to like Walmart and get the goofy like mug with a weird janky stuffed animal in it, just as kind of more of a joke than anything. And maybe a thing of chocolates. And that's usually about the extent of our Valentine's Day plans. But tomorrow I'm making steak. I'm grilling steak. And we're going to stay home.
So
or we might go see a movie. Not sure. Kind of up in the air. I don't know. It's going to be crazy everywhere you go on Valentine's Day.
It's awful.
We just choose to stay home 90%.
Did I tell you I tried to book something like a dinner like a couple weeks ago?
Oh, boy.
I tried to book a dinner 3 weeks ago. And every restaurant was packed. Or they're like, hey, yeah, we've got room at 8:45 at the bar. It's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll just grill steak. It's fine.
So it's a double whammy. But yeah, we're making steak too. So I'm just gonna have steak, some wine, just chill and whatever. So cool. All right, man. You want to hit us with the diggity deals before we jump into news?
Yeah, Nintendo Switch, you can get Assassin's Creed: The Rebel Collection for $29.99 on the US eShop. On Xbox One, you can get The Division 2 for $2.99 at the Xbox Store. You can also get it on PlayStation as well, but I chose it as the Xbox One because nothing else is happening. But if you don't have that game and you let it pass for $3, you fucked up. It's a fantastic game. I enjoy it a lot. And for $3, it's an absolute steal. On PS4, you can get a pre-owned copy of Uncharted 4 for $5 at GameStop. And on PC, you can get Ori and the Blind Forest, the definitive edition, for $4.99 on Steam.
Well, do I ever have some deals for you?
Oh, yeah?
And they're free.
Ooh.
With subscription. So for Nintendo Switch Online, we've got some editions coming on February 19th, both for NES and SNES, Nintendo Switch Online games. So on the NES side of things, you're going to get Shadow of the Ninja and Eliminator Boat Duel. And for NES titles, you're going to get Pop and Twinbee and Smash Tennis. So hit those up. They're free. If you have the subscription, jump on that. And what's nice is you don't have to click download or snag those up. They just automatically appear.
Yeah.
So it's always a nice thing.
For these games that no one particularly cares about.
Sure.
I've never heard anybody say they're nostalgic for any of these 4 games. But hey, they're there.
I'd really like Nintendo to start like giving you like N64 games.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get away from NES and SNES. We've kind of sucked those dry. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. There's plenty of other.
I'm assuming they're going to start maybe giving us N64 once they do the N64 Classic this holiday season. Because you know they're going to come out with that.
Oh, yeah. Especially since they launched the Switch Lite last year. They didn't want to steal their thunder there. They're not going to have anything new this year, so I would imagine the N64 Classic would be the way to go.
Ooh, but maybe not.
Or the Game Boy.
Coronavirus.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
A lot of these things could be could be delayed.
That's really throwing a wrench in everything.
Dude, it spiked. It doubled. Someone fucked up. How does that happen? I heard on the news some guys just like, yeah, we were testing it wrong. It's like, Jesus. It's double the amount.
Yeah, that's
not great.
Not ideal.
Not great.
Pre-registration for the Android version of Gwent, the Witcher card game, has begun. If you have an Android, go ahead and go to the Google Play Store, and you should be able to pre-register for it there. If you have Apple, an iPhone or iPad or whatever, you should be able to already get that. I believe it's been out for like a year on iOS. But yeah, cool. If you like Gwent, otherwise known as The Witcher 3, the main subversion in that game, there you go. You can play it now on your phone.
Cool. Other iOS news. Project xCloud is now available through a limited iOS test flight. Get at me. The App Store has placed some restrictions on this test flight, though. It is only available in the US, UK, and my home and native land of Canada. This version does not include console streaming, just Project xCloud. Only one game is available. That game is Halo, the Master Chief Collection, so can't really complain about that. It's a pretty good game. Only 10,000 testers can be accepted at this time, and those spots were filled practically instantly. So,
real fast.
We give you this news. It's also disappointing to you right now. There are basically time slots for this preview so that they don't have too many testers playing at one time. Don't know those times. I'm sure they will tweet these things out, make releases for these times, and the batches will increase as time goes on and they feel comfortable adding more people. But I'm stoked to get this going, try this out on my iPhone. I'm stoked.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have iPhone, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. But yeah, that's fine. It'd be nice to play it on the iPad. That'd be a good thing. So Pokemon Home is out for Switch, iPhone, and Android now. I went ahead and bought the year subscription or whatever to it because why not? I guess. And I wanted to carry some Pokemon over and stuff. It's fine. I don't know. It's nothing revolutionary. It's not the best laid out app I've ever seen in my life, but it's fine.
When has any Nintendo app been a great laid out app?
That's a very good point. Pretty much never. So it's pretty much exactly what you would expect. I have never had Pokemon Bank, so I don't really have anything to compare it to in that regard. But I went ahead and got it on Switch and my phone. Did a Wonder Trade type of thing and got some okay Pokemon, some Caterpies, some bullshit as well, but
Caterpies and some bullshit.
Otherwise known as Caterpie. But yeah, it's fine. I don't know. It works. It does what it's advertised to do, and the subscription is probably way too much for what it actually is, but it works, I guess.
That was the most disappointing.
There's not
melodramatic.
There's just not really much to say about it. I mean, overall,
it's a bank.
It does what it's supposed to do, and it costs 3 times as much as it used to. So, I mean, what? I don't know what else you want from me here. That's just kind of what it is. So,
speaking the truth here on Diggity, dudes. Some PlayStation PAX East playable games lineup was released. So here's the list. Bear with me. You've got Below, Cloudpunk, Doom Eternal, Dreams, number 18,003.
Just Dreams.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Gorn PSVR, Haven, The Last of Us Part 2, Marvel's Iron Man VR on PSVR, obviously, MLB The Show 20, Mosaic Moving Out, Neo 2, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows. That's the title. That's not me being a sarcastic asshole. Paper Beast for PlayStation VR, Persona 5 Royal, Pixel Ripped 1995, which that is a really cool looking game. Predator Hunting Grounds, Remnant from the Ashes, The Room VR, A Dark Matter, not that bad movie, but The Room VR. Space.
Don't you dare take a shit on The Room.
Space Channel 5 on PSVR, Spelunky 2.
Woo!
Trials of Mana and Zombie Army 4. So there you go. There's your
go.
PAX lineup, dudes.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Games.
Games. There will be games at PAX. So we have a few more details on Marvel's Avengers, which, if you remember, it has been delayed to September now. But we got a little bit more news on it and kind of some of the things going on here. So PlayStation benefits. So it was announced that by playing on PlayStation, you will get some exclusives and things like that. So first up, you get first access to the beta. So that's fine and dandy. They've been doing stuff like that for forever, whatever. The exclusive digital version of the game, which is obviously different than the regular digital version of the game on everything else. This will include 1,000 credits that are used for buying customizable options and things in game
Already.
Hell yeah. This sounds like a shitty mobile game. An exclusive Miss Marvel nameplate, because everybody wants a really great nameplate. This is essentially like the call signs in Call of Duty, except for even Call of Duty doesn't monetize their call signs this bad. So we're not off to a fantastic start. We sound a little negative tonight, and it's not intentional.
Oh, we are.
It's just some of this stuff gets old, you know. Customizing customizable nameplates that are going to cost you like $6.99. It's ridiculous.
I saw the best meme ever yesterday, and it was today. And it throw politics aside, it was Bernie Sanders, okay, and he has this ad that's going around all the time right now. It says, once again I'm asking for your financial support, and in this one he's like, it was EA or whatever, and it was like some microtransaction to buy something. I forget which game it was, and it was just him. He's like, once again, I am asking for your financial support. And he had like the EA over his face, and I'm like, oh my god.
And finally, the last thing in the PlayStation digital version is if you pre-order this version specifically, you will get a nameplate that can be equipped to any of the core 6 Avengers. A exclusive Marvel or Miss Marvel emote, and a PS4 theme.
Wow.
Awesome.
Boner alert.
Yeah. So don't pre-order this. Other editions of the game. The deluxe edition, which will cost you $80, $79.99. It includes an Obsidian outfit pack, which are metallic outfits with gold accents and 6 Obsidian nameplates, 72-hour early access to the game, and
That's some bullshit.
And a 1-month free subscription to Marvel Unlimited, but for the physical version only.
What?
So for an extra $20, you can get some outfits, some nameplates, and 72 hours early to the game. Yeah. And the Earth's Mightiest edition, which is the collector's edition of the game, which will run you $199. This includes an Avengers A icon steelbook case, a 12-inch statue of Captain America, a Hulk bobblehead, a Mjolnir keychain, a Black Widow belt buckle.
Oh, wow, yeah. I can wear that to the Home Depot on my weekend renos.
Yeah, I'm looking for a leaf blower. You got your hands in your pockets with your thumb sticking out, rubbing on that belt buckle.
On the Widow logo.
An Iron Man prototype armor blueprint, Kamala Khan's honorary Avengers pen, and a commemorative Avengers group photo. How adorable.
Wow.
And pre-order bonuses for everyone, if I read this properly, because it was they didn't explicitly say this is for everyone, but it was separate from just the PlayStation edition, so I assume this is for everyone. You can get Marvel Legacy outfits.
Cool. So you get a case.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 12-inch statue of Captain America. That's kind of cool. Hopefully the quality is good.
Mm-hmm.
You get essentially a pop bobblehead.
It didn't look good either. I'd rather have a pop than that one, personally.
Okay.
I mean, I'm slightly biased, but at the same time,
no. Those can't see the video. There's only like 1,000 pops behind, bro. So you get a knockoff pop bobblehead. You get a Mjolnir keychain that's been around probably for the last 8 years that you can pick up at a Think Geek store. You get a belt buckle that's probably going to snap in half the moment you try to tighten your fucking pants. And you get a piece of paper that's blue that looks like Iron Man had a blueprint from it. You get Kamala Khan's Avengers pin, which how many people are really going to give a shit about Kamala Khan? And you get
actually kind of popular, but
you get wait for it. You get a piece of paper again with the Avengers on it.
Right, and it's just
and then
essentially a screenshot from the game of them all standing together.
This is not great.
I don't like anything about this.
They should have done my theory on this is that if there's ever going to be a collector's edition for a game that would sell like fucking hotcakes and could be way more expensive than $200, it would be this game. If you did it right, where you had either a bust of a character where it was like really cool and it came like this big like crate or something like that, or you had a large statue of like numerous Avengers fighting something together.
Yeah. If any,
like this could have been like $400, $500 and people would have bought this shit.
Oh yeah. If any game could have had the coolest collector's edition ever, it is this game. I mean, the Marvel IP with all of the different characters that are going to be in this game, they could have just absolutely blown it out of the water. And this is, this isn't even a decent collector's edition in my mind for any game, let alone a Marvel's Avengers game. I feel like this is not ideal. This game so far seems like it is going to be very scummy. I'm just not excited about this at all. And I'm a huge, huge Marvel fan, and I am.
That bobblehead looks like shit.
I told you it does. It looks terrible. Yeah, it's bad, man.
Oh my God.
I don't have any hope for this game, unfortunately.
He looks like the fucking Green Giant. Doesn't even look like Hulk. His muscles are tiny.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this game. The fact that a PlayStation version of this game gives you credits to buy something in the store is already a really, really bad start. And I have this feeling that it is going to be monetized similar to a mobile game, to where it is just going to be just terrible, just overly predatory, and I don't know, man. Something about this game is not setting right with me at all.
Well, hopefully maybe they can prove us wrong.
I hope so. I mean,
this Hulk bobblehead isn't setting it off on a good course, but
it's not a great start.
Maybe we can get there. Moving on, Need for Speed is moving back to Criterion for development. So the current development team, Ghost Games, is in the process of becoming EA Gothenburg again. They plan to focus themselves as an engineering hub and support team for EA. EA says that the engineering expertise in our Gothenburg team, some of whom are architects of the Frostbite engine, is vital to a number of our ongoing projects, and they would remain in that location. Many people within the Ghost Games team that are in more of a creative position will be absorbed by Criterion and help with Need for Speed going forward, but this still does leave roughly 30 jobs at risk. EA says that they plan to find a place for these other 30 people within the company. Ghost Games took over the franchise in 2013, making the last 4 Need for Speed games, which have not been overly well received. EA says that some of the issues is from a struggle to attract the right talent to Ghost Games. Criterion, who is best known for the Burnout series, previously worked the 2 Need for Speed titles directly before Ghost took over Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Most Wanted. For the past 5 years, the studio has filled the support role within EA. So this is good. I mean, there's more competition out there, obviously, with Forza Horizon that directly hits basically the Need for Speed franchise. And I would love to see Need for Speed get, rebirth basically, and just and be back to its old ways. I think they just got way too complicated with a lot of shit, and they just need to dumb it down a little bit and bring it to, here's my cars, here's what I can do to them on a base level, and not make it so, I don't know, make it fun, make it like I can just jump in. Because Forza Horizon is nice that you can customize as much as you want, but you can also just kind of just jump in quickly and just get going. And I didn't really think you could do that then. It was Need for Speeds.
I feel like I think a good move for Need for Speed would be to get away from the open world stuff. I think that's where they start to kind of lose it a little bit. And I get that that's what they want to do, because they are trying to directly compete with Forza. But it just, I personally think Need for Speed is most successful when it is more of a arcadey style racing game, because that's the way it drives. It's not supposed to be a simulator. It's not supposed to be anything like that. It's an arcade racing game essentially. And so I think even if you do have an open world, maybe not have such a strong focus on it, like just have it kind of basically something you can drive around and you can go to the different races, keep it simple without trying to do too much. Also, maybe step away from this edgy story that you're trying to do. Like, it's not working. This isn't, the early 2000s when Fast and Furious was just coming out and everybody loved this street racing scene and, the cops are coming, yada, yada. It doesn't work anymore. I think the best thing they can do is just make a damn good racing game and try to get away from some of the stuff that they've done. And from what it seems like, Heat is a step in the right direction. They definitely still kind of leaned into this edginess type thing, like corrupt cops and street racing and yada yada.
We need to race. Like, we don't need villains and shit like that.
No, just give me a good racing game. That's all I want. I love Need for Speed from back in the day of just jumping in and playing some arcade races, customizing some cars, having fun with it. Like, it does not need to be this big elaborate thing. Just make a damn good racing game. That's all we want.
Yep.
And they're capable of it. They've done it before. And with Criterion stepping back in, I think that's a good move, because Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted were both pretty well received, especially Hot Pursuit. Most Wanted was, I think, kind of okay, but it wasn't the best, but it was still better than pretty much the last 4. I think Heat has been received pretty well, but it's still not quite, what people are looking for. So hopefully Criterion can come in and turn this around a little bit.
Cool.
The last thing we have on the list here. We talked about this in the Patreon episode for a little bit, but the whole thing about our Patreon episode is it's not going to take away from our main show here, so we're going to talk about it again. Sorry, Patreon subscribers, but Geoff Keighley will not be at E3 2020. So the official tweet from Geoff Keighley says, "For the past 25 years, I have attended every electronic entertainment expo. Covering, hosting, and sharing E3 has always been a highlight of my year, not to mention a defining part of my career. I've debated what to say about E3 2020. While I want to support the developers who will showcase their work, I also need to be open and honest with you, the fans, about precisely what to expect from me. I have made the difficult decision to decline to produce E3 Coliseum. For the first time in 25 years, I will not be participating in E3. I look forward to supporting the industry in other ways and at other events in the future." Quickly before I get into the rest of this here, he says he wants to be precise about what to expect from him, which, I mean, I guess he is, but at the same time, he's not really fully explaining why.
And NDAs.
Right. You know, you can only say so much, obviously. But another quote from an interview with the Hollywood Reporter says, "Given what has been communicated about E3 so far, I just don't feel comfortable participating this year," which says a lot and genuinely makes me concerned about E3.
Yeah, probably more on the end. I think after reading some of the other stuff in the comments on Twitter, I think it's more of like it's just not going to do well. I don't think it's like a moral thing. Like some people are like, "Oh my god, it's just a big corrupt happening." And it's like, no, I think he just thinks like, "Wow, this is fucking dying. I'm out."
Right. Essentially, he doesn't want to put his name on it. And on top of
his
that,
name means something for sure. He's the Ryan Seacrest of the games industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, he has his own show that is becoming quickly way larger than E3. I mean, the Xbox was announced at his show versus being announced at E3. So
there's some bad.
I think at a certain point he has to step away from E3 anyway, just because it's like it's kind of like helping your competition in a way. But the official statement from the ESA says, "Geoff has been and continues to be a strong industry advocate and champion. He played a critical role in developing E3 Coliseum, a platform reintroduced 3 years ago that brought fans together for important conversations with industry luminaries and leaders in celebration of video games. We appreciate his contributions and hope to have future collaborations. In 2020, we look forward to presenting a reimagined E3 that will connect and delight fans worldwide," which what we have kind of heard so far and seen from leaks and things like that. Sounds like E3 is going to be focused predominantly on the experience for the people there and less about the big showcases and the big presentations, keynotes, and all that. So it seems like this year is going to be a little weird, and it almost seems like they're grasping for anything to keep them alive. And
I think they're trying to just concentrate on becoming so like PAX, right? Yeah. Like they're going to be another PAX,
right? But at the same time, the reason they're trying to become that is because what they already are is not working anymore.
Oh
it's a forced evolution that they this show was never set up to be, and PAX kind of has always filled that role of being that more fan oriented presentation and event. So this is this seems to be not a good sign for E3 at all. I would say the idea of Geoff Keighley stepping away from it and basically feeling like saying that he essentially does not like what's going to happen at E3 this year and that it's just not what he expects from the show is pretty much all but the final nail in the coffin. I think, as I said in the Patreon episode, I think this is either the last year or the second to last year. I think next year would probably be the last. I think this year survives solely because of Xbox wanting to obviously show off their Series X at E3. And I think that's the only reason it really survives this year. And next year, without a giant game or a giant console announcement or anything like that, I don't know why it is such a big thing that people are going to care about, because these companies can put on, directs or things like that and get all of the the news out there that they want to, because it spreads like wildfire on the internet anyway. So you can put out one little thing from a company that large, and 90% of the internet that even remotely cares about this stuff will see it. So they don't need E3 like they needed it back in the 90s and early 2000s. Times have just changed, and it doesn't make sense.
Well, it's also a massive cost to incur as a company. It makes no sense.
Absolutely. It's
also
huge.
Like, I get that the Xbox, further details are going to be talked about on it and stuff like that, and you'll probably be able to get a look at it and see the menu system and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the biggest part has already been done, and that's just announcing and showing the damn thing.
Right.
I mean, obviously there's all the games and stuff like that, but I mean, people know when it's coming out, or have an idea generally when it's coming out, comparative to, any other console release. They know what it looks like, or at least what one of the versions looks like. We know what the hell's on the inside of it. We knew that before it was even announced. We know what the controller looks like. It really comes down to just saying, what does the UI look like on it, which you never really get a good look until basically the damn thing launches and you've got it in your hands and can properly review it in that manner.
Right.
And what are some games? And we even know what some games are going to be coming onto it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's seeing them. That's about it. I mean,
without Sony at the show, the games don't seem to matter nearly as much. Obviously, Xbox is leaning into that more this next generation because that it was one of their weak points. But at the same time, they're clearly focusing more on a service rather than the actual console this next generation. So it really does not make sense for them to push too hard into E3. I really think this is within. So obviously this E3 is going to happen. I would assume that potentially next E3 will happen, depending on if they have any more weird stuff go on this next off season, like releasing half of the interviewers' personal information and stuff like that. It might happen again next year, but I think that either next year or the year after will be the last year for E3.
I think that if they
in the form of.
Yeah, they should become a PAX like they're trying to, and they should not have it in Los Angeles. They should fucking move it to like Texas or somewhere in the center of the country.
Yeah.
One, the West Coast is fucking expensive. Like to go out and visit it, or to go out and check things out, or I get it. A lot of people want to say that a lot of people live on the West Coast. Unfortunately, most of the country lives in the eastern side of the United States as well as the Midwest. I mean, that's just population wise. So people got to get out there. It costs an arm and a leg to fly out there, generally speaking, the time that they have it. It costs an arm and a leg for lodging, for food, for anything at all. It's so expensive. And I mean, just move you already have PAX West, you have PAX East. Move it to Texas.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great in like Austin, Texas. Perfect midpoint for a lot of people to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Easily get into it. Cool city, hipper, and give people just an ability to get to something closer. Put it in Chicago. I mean, it's expensive, but shit. I mean, the Midwest people drive there. East Coast will fly there cheap. Good God. So I don't know. It'll be weird. It'll be weird to see what they do.
Yeah, I think if it does survive, it's going to be drastically different than what we see now, and even what this year will be. I think it's going to be, like you said, it's going to have to evolve into essentially a PAX of some sort. I mean, this is going to be like PAX Central now, in some way, shape, or form, in order to make it any further. Because, like I said, the internet is so prominent anymore that you don't need these kind of giant shows. PAX doesn't even really announce anything. Most of PAX is just it's a giant celebration of gaming where people can come in and play games that are coming and demo things, and and which is cool, and it's a cool show, and it's just, I mean, like I said, times have changed drastically.
I think the biggest mess up on E3's part was when they took it away from being industry only.
Yeah,
and I don't mean to sound like a D-bag, but like when I was there last time, not last year, but the year before, for 2018's E3, like it's just the show floor is just crammed with people spent all this money on these booths and all this shit. The show floor is crammed with a bunch of people just lining up for like an hour at a time to play a 15-minute demo sesh of a new game. You had like 7 different fucking gaming chair companies selling gaming chairs on the show floor or trying to pitch those. You had some like software people trying to pitch stuff. You had cryptocurrency software platforms trying to pitch developers on shit. And you had, a lot of the meetings take place. The big hotel, the big meeting place for E3 for industry is the Marriott. That's right across from the from Xbox Plaza. And that just gets flooded with people now, just hoping to see developers and hoping to see like famous people, because the YouTube thing is there too. So you'll have like Geoff Keighley, Boogie, all those kind of guys walking into this place, and there's no security or anything like that. I mean, there's a door to get to the YouTube thing, but they have to walk through into the Marriott for all this stuff. So people just stood around waiting for people there. So people couldn't really get business done properly as an industry person. And then, you had keynotes where people are there, but like, I think if you kept it just smaller and just industry focused where people can get together and they do these big keynotes with the press and stuff like that, and it was a little bit more like professional, I think it would have still had a place, because I think the industries, like the companies, would have seen a lot more value in it than just being this like basically circle jerk of video games with no clear, concise, like organization behind what it is. Like it was just kind of this is when everyone kind of announces games, and it's like, but that's not good if all 3 of you announce at the same time. Like, so where's the value in it, right? Like, show me why as a company I need to come do a keynote that's going to cost my company hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I can at least get most of my business done for the year. Like, it used to be a place where you get like 80% of your business done for the year.
Yeah.
For deals. And when I talk to a lot of people there, it's like some people would go and they're just like, we come here as fan service, and we basically, take some of our customers out, or, we'll meet up with Nintendo or Sony or Xbox, go get a beer or something like that. But generally speaking, we're not talking, crazy business with them anymore at these events. It's just, just the way it is. I mean, we have the internet, we have, easy ways to access these things, and I think it just got it's going the way of the dodo. But what conference has been alive for 25 years? Right? Like,
shit. It's definitely,
30
served what it was
years,
set
really,
out
almost.
to do. Yeah, it's just crazy. I think it has been a important part of gaming and all of that, obviously, but it's kind of similar to a GameStop. I mean, GameStop was a pretty important part of the gaming history as well, but at the same time, they weren't quite ready to evolve, and they didn't evolve quickly enough, and so they're kind of falling by the wayside. And as we move into more of a internet focused and digital focused world, some of these things just kind of fall by the wayside, and there's not a whole lot you can really do about it. It's just the natural evolution of things, and it's the way it's going to go. And so you either have to adjust and change your plan, or do something completely different and focus on something drastically different. And I mean, I guess at the core of it, that is evolving, but I mean, it's either get it figured out or it's going to die. I don't know really how else to say it. I mean,
because there also used to be a lot of like hand holding, or I guess not hand, like gatekeeping almost, kind of, because the ESA, who, started E3 and runs it, like way back, let's talk about, games on DVDs or on disc, right? Shit had to be approved. You had to find, distributors for that kind of stuff. You had to find the manufacturers for these discs. You had to find all these different things. And now it's just like, hey, we can just make a game in this thing for free. Epic Games is going to take like 5% of the game or 8% of the game, and we can just launch to everything on these portals online for all these things. And then after we're done making that revenue, then we can maybe figure out if we want to do a physical copy. But most people just buy digital anyways. Right. So it's like, I mean, it's like the way of radio, right? Like, look at what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now still costs radio tens of thousands of dollars in equipment.
Right.
Yet it costs us nothing.
Right.
To do this. Who's going to die first? Probably the radio station.
Right. Yeah, it's just things have just changed, and at this point, anybody and their brother can have a podcast. It's not very hard to do, and you're already. I mean, you have the potential to actually reach more people than radio.
Oh, far more.
And so it's just I don't.
Also, radio's bullshit.
They
can't tell you how many fucking people listen to it.
No, they can't. Not at all. I mean, not that podcasting analytics are perfect either, but they're better.
You can only see when someone downloaded our shit and listened to us.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. And where they listen to us. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And their age and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can see a lot. You can see a lot of stuff. Over the course of doing this entire thing, we've also seen how inaccurate it does tend to be sometimes, or how much fluctuation you see in the different analytics and different metrics. But it's still
how
at least
France loves us too.
Yeah.
Holy
big shit. Shout out to France.
Big shout out to France.
I don't know who's listening to us in France, but thank you.
yeah. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up. If you want to get the access to get exclusive content that is not video game related, a little bit here and there, but whatever we discuss.
Sometimes video games.
Yeah, if we discuss video games on there, I have any news, it also gets discussed on these free versions of the podcast. Also, because we don't want to content lock people in that regard. But we kind of just shoot the shit. It's a kind of a off topic kind of show. And we definitely shoot the shit. So head on over to patreon.com/Diggity podcast. 3 different tiers over there. Get access to private Discord. Get yourself a Stickity Diggity. Or get access also to all of the Stickity Diggity and Discord access, as well as exclusive content. Patreon.com/Diggity podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram @Diggity podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. You can find me on Xbox One. My gamer tag is Maple Jeff.
And mine is Luscious Brody on Xbox. And on PlayStation, you can find me at Wolverine's Cousin.
Guys, leave us a review. It helps us out a ton, whether it's a comment on one of our YouTube videos or a review on our iTunes page. It helps us get noticed. And it also lets us know what you liked about the show or what we might need to change on the show to make it better. And until next time, guys, we will see you for the Wednesday show. See ya.